What's up? What's up? We are doing something different this week. Three of us are in Brooklyn. Trouble is in Pittsburgh holding it down. But, it's so much to talk about. We wanted to still deliver a show to you all. So we hoping this format works. My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And not to my right, but in pink. We are in New York. Are you representing Dipset, Cameron and Dipset?
You know what? That could be a move. That could be a move. I just want to say, like, we are traveling. You don't have to tell people where we are. You can put we outside.
Okay,
Yeah, we
okay. You
just
don't want. Well, we want your fans to know they can roll up.
Oh wow.
I say it every decade, every decade. No, but anyway, this is your girl, Masala Miracle. Our last episode before Ramadan ends.
Oh wow.
And the violence could come back next week.
Ooh, okay, okay. Well, there's been a lot of violence, and that
So right, so
violence has been shared. We'll get into that. But first, our brother, Mr. NLS.
It's your boy Trouble and LS Never Like Supremacy holding it down from Pittsburgh, you know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Yeah,
Let's
shit.
go. Let's go. And there is another person. Sir, you have your back to us. You pardon your back. Oh, look.
why does your chair swivel?
Yeah, I don't even have a swivel chair, bro. I don't even know where you
No.
got that, bro. My chair is regular legs in my room, bro. You got the
Regular,
special room.
regular.
You got the swivel chair room, the upgrade.
He's not gonna know how to act for the rest of the episode.
Can you introduce yourself, sir? Oh wow.
What's
Okay,
going
you're
on,
not.
everybody?
I'm about to say
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
this episode.
yeah. No, I was going for the Dr. Claw effect from Inspector Gadget.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Remember Dr. Claw? He would just be here the whole time, and
Um, I do not, but that's you had mentioned this show earlier. I know you've been on you're
for
reminiscing on
everybody
shows
watching,
today. Yeah. Yeah.
for
I don't know.
everybody watching, Jasiri does not remember the Elephant Show, right?
Never
Skinner
heard of it.
rinky dinky dink,
Not
Skinner
only
rinky
don't
doo.
remember it, I've never
I
heard of that.
love you. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I
Never
feel
heard
like
of
everybody from our generation knows that song. I bet you John knows that song.
that. I don't know, but John is with us. John is producing. And you know, the great Kendrick Lamar asked a question, and he asked it in rhyme form. And he said, "Have you ever played? Have you ever?" Okay, nigga, let's play.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever leaked war secrets in a group chat? Have you ever? What?
Yeah,
Can we bring back DEI so we can get some competent workers? Like, yo,
man.
DEI went away and the incompetence went up
Mm-hmm.
100-fold. So apparently there was a group chat. Not even apparently, it's actually been confirmed by the White House that a group chat was put together on Signal to talk about the United States war plan and included the Director of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and included JD Vance. And somehow, when I don't know what Jeffrey they meant to put in, but they put in Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor of the Atlantic magazine, and they leaked not only war information about the United States strike on Yemen. He came out today and said they had a whole CIA operative that they put in the chat that he did not share because he did not want to out that person's information. So, One Hood fam, I feel like all of us don't like group chat. Like we're in group chats, but we're
I
not
hate group chats.
necessarily fans of group chat. But we have to be in group chats because we're organizers and artists and we do a bunch of shit. But have you ever
War
added
plans in a
somebody
group
to the
chat
group
sound
chat?
like that sound like a West Side Gun song.
No facts.
Hey yo, that's actually a hard
Yeah,
time. War
yeah,
planes
war
in the group
plans in a
chat.
group chat. Yeah,
No,
that
no.
sounds like a
That's
West Side
definitely a bar. He's like, have you ever leaked plans in the group chat?
Again, war plans in the group chat for black people equals a RICO.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
So
man.
the question I guess we have is, will Pete Hegseth face any repercussions? There's already been, calls from obviously the Democratic side and others to have him resign. Miracle. Um, the Trump administration is already, their favorability rating is dropping. Elon is losing billions of dollars a day. People are vandalizing Teslas as we speak, right? And protesting Teslas. Um, Thousands of people are being fired. Is this just what we are going to expect forever from the Trump administration? Or do we think that Donald Trump and somebody is going to begin to make some changes happening? What is your take on the group chat, Miracle?
I mean, clearly the group chat was not smart. It was not the brightest or best movements of the Trump campaign. But I think it goes to show you once again how complacent the media is and all the shenanigans of the Trump administration. Because if you are a journalist and you're put into this group chat that shows there is no national security vetting, that there is nobody literally making sure that private sensitive information is only being shared with people with a background and security clearance, you would probably raise the alarm. You wouldn't wait for bombs to drop and then be like, crazy thing happened to me 4 days ago. I should write about it. You would probably write about it right then. But when you have media who is more invested in getting these hit pieces and more invested in being in bed with Trump, you're not going to have people doing the work. So, will there be somebody who can right this ship or to make the Trump administration actually act with their presidential? Who knows? I think right now everybody is just sticking with the ship because they feel like it's an experience. And it's something that they can get clicks and likes off of, and nobody's like, you know what, maybe this is not how you run a country because someone raised the idea of what if they actually had someone who had nefarious intentions with the Trump administration, someone who had nefarious intentions when it came to the United States of America and kind of leaked that information to a partner, and what if we would have gotten struck when this operation was going into place, if more people could have needlessly died than they already did. And so I think it's really, really important that people actually take this seriously. Do I think anything's going to happen? No. Do I think they're going to make Pete resign? No. But I think it is a clear indicator of how incompetent and actually absurd this administration is.
Pete Buttigieg said today's news of an astonishing security failure at the White House from an operational security perspective is the highest level of fuck up imaginable. These people can't keep America safe. The spokesperson from the National Security Council, Brian Hughes, responded confirming the veracity of the signal group. This appears to be an authentic message change. We are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain. We know how. You know what I'm saying? The thread. Oh, okay. He said this thread is a demonstration of the deep and thoughtful policy coordination between senior officials. Not really. Trouble Farouk, you all have any comment about how we should be responding to this?
That's that's an interesting question.
Wow, are y'all thinking about the group chats that y'all,
Low key.
Oh,
the mistakes that you might have made on the group chat, adding the person you talking shit on to the group chat? Like, oh,
Now I feel like someone who's in such a position should definitely be a lot more careful about things like that.
yeah,
I'm wondering if there's a way that like that amount of like carefulness could be vetted before they're put in that place. But it
yeah.
almost sounds like you would need something like DEI so that you could, scan the competence of your workers, and they don't want that. So
Right. You actually need some real black people there that know, like, oh no, you got to check the group chat. You got to check all the names before you hit send on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
You know what
something
I'm
that we need to know
saying?
about. You feel
Who
me?
all gonna be there is such an important question in so many different areas.
Absolutely. Who all gonna be there? Farouk?
Do you remember when Obama was becoming president for the first time and there was a huge dust up around him not wanting to give up his BlackBerry? And they needed to go over his phone and protect it and encrypt it and make sure he had all these things so he wasn't leaking national security and all these other steps and things that the NSA had to do. Where was that for this? Where was any of the like technology is and security measures have come such a far way? I mean, you would think they have in the last 10 years or so with encryption and authentication and all these different verification steps that you could take to prevent something this catastrophic from happening. Because what's to say something more damaging doesn't happen to like like a general American citizen? That that Trump doxes somebody or JD Vance doxes somebody, Pete Hedgehog that doxes somebody. Like, what if like somebody just says they hey they find a Twitter or someone they don't like. I'm sure we're probably going to talk about this later today, but Trump is demanding that social media accounts be handed over by protesters and people on campuses and people who are legally here on green card or legal status. So what's to prevent something like this from happening from someone or to somebody from a presidential level, like because the president is indemnified from the official acts, so he could easily just put out, hey, this Twitter user's name, all the information, the address and everything like that, and just say it was leaked in a group chat or something like
Well,
how
again,
like this is actually a terrifying thing for your average American, and the fact that there isn't more of a concern about this is in and of itself concerning.
well, Farouk, I mean, one, Signal isn't like you would think again, okay, call me somebody that is like again, I'm thinking that there's some type of competency in the Trump administration. I'm probably wrong right there. But I would think that, like, if you're talking about planning attacks on other countries, again, they leaked a CIA officer's information in this very group chat to
Yeah.
this man. This man knows this information. He just didn't publish it. It part of me makes me like, do you publish right away or do you wait and see like what
How
gets
much
sent to
time
the
had
group?
passed?
Part of me feels like he should have waited a little bit longer to see like what is going to come over this group chat. But again, he got a job to do. I
How
don't know.
much time had passed from the journalist getting the information and actually coming out to the news about it?
That's a great question. We probably could get that information. But I think on the flip side too, it's not like Signal, like the Pentagon or the Department of Defense or the White House doesn't have a more secure. Like they're
Yeah, they
downloading
use
Signal. Like I'm
probably they're probably using Slack.
they're using the
Oh
same.
God, no.
I'm
Yeah,
using
they're using they might bring back like ICQ or like you know what I mean MSN
this.
Messenger something like you might as
But,
well
but
like
but just like
what
you
are you talking
said,
about?
like WhatsApp, like I would think that they would have some like because people have broken Signal, like Signal has been used in court cases. People have gotten through that, so it almost feels like now that like are like the people that might see the United States as a threat have that information. They can just break into the Signal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's super super wild that they're using the same app I'm using and I'm talking about, regular, what's the weather like where you are? And they're talking about bombing countries. That's
Trump
crazy.
when they asked Trump about it, he seemed to not have any idea what was happening. He was like, the first I'm hearing about
So
it is you telling me.
first, let's get Hedgeseth's. Well, I like you call him Hedgehog. I like that. The
He's
Hedgehog.
hedgehog, yeah, he's hedgehog, man.
Let's get the Hedgehog's commentary when they asked him. Let's hear what he has.
Can you share how your information about war plans against the Houthis in Yemen was shared with a journalist in the Atlantic, and were those details classified?
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would love to comment on the Houthi campaign because of the skill and courage of our troops. I've monitored it very closely from the beginning. And you see, we've been managing 4 years of deferred maintenance under the Trump administration. Our troops, our sailors were getting shot at as targets. Our ships couldn't sail through. And when they did shoot back, it was purely defensively or at shacks in Yemen. President Trump said, no more. We will reestablish deterrence. We will open freedom of navigation, and we will ultimately decimate the Houthis, which is exactly what we're doing as we speak from the beginning, overwhelmingly.
What Hedgehog didn't say is my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say if again, if he's so deceitful and hopeful, why did you add him to the chat, my nigga?
Right.
Like you added him to the chat. Like you know, could you imagine just picking up your signal? Oh, I got some messages. Oh shit. They're talking about JD Vance is on here. What? Hedgehog is on here. Like Tulsi Gabbard
Yo,
is
you
on.
know what?
What is this?
I wonder what they got JD Vance's contact saved under. Like,
Couch
no
couches
fucking
safe.
3000.
So again, like he's such a hoax, you know, a bad or negative person. So again, you mentioned it. You said a Miracle. Peach had really he didn't say anything. He talked a
Peach
lot, but he didn't
Hedgehog is a
deny.
crazy name. That's his name.
Hedgehog was crazy.
No,
Yeah,
Not
Peach
hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
yeah, I
But
like
there
it.
is the issue with Signal, and part of the issue with Signal is that depending on how they have it set up, these messages delete, right? So there is this idea that the government is using Signal because they want to evade the sunshine laws and the transparency because there's going to be no record of all these things that they're doing. So, for instance, there was this argument about when did the pilots and the government know that the judge had said this plane had got to be turned back around that was going to El Salvador, and they were like, "There's no way to prove that the order was shared out." Well, if you're using Signal instead of using your traditional means of communication, which is your government email, your government phone that tracks and traces your information, you're now evading transparency, which I always say goes more to a conspiracy that the United States government, currently has people in a position of power who are conspiring together to evade accountability and create a track record, thereby lying to the American people. But putting that aside, I just think it's really funny that this administration has picked the cast of characters of the absolutely dumbest and worst people imaginable.
Yes.
And it's just like every day it's something new. And instead of being like, you know what, we had a meeting, we did this thing. It's like, oh, this person's a liar, this person's untrustworthy. While you're saying this person's untrustworthy, another government official is like, yeah, there was a group chat, it looks official. Trump is like, I don't know what's going on. It doesn't look like people know what they're
Doesn't look
doing, but
presidential.
it looks presidential, but it shows that this is a coordinated, not necessarily attack, but a coordinated group of people who are doing whatever they can to bring as much death and destruction and violence and chaos to the world while trying to erase their tracks. And that's all this is. They're not
What
trying.
if
It's interesting though, Miracle, because Trump is on the record also. Remember, Trump came out and was like, I didn't sign that act to fly those people to Venezuela. I don't know who did. You know what I'm saying?
what if all these people are actually just using Trump as a scapegoat and they just trying to frame him for a government takeover? Let me get in my
Um,
conspiracy bag.
I
What if
think
it's
a
just
coup is coming. I
yeah,
think this is
like
being set
what if
up for
yeah,
a
like
coup because
well,
if you don't
again,
know who's
wondering
signing. But if you don't know who's signing your pen, that means somebody is using your auto pen. Elon is Elon our unelected elected president or
yeah,
unelected dictator. So at some point there is going to be real accountability that has to be taken, and I fear that we are headed to a military coup because the military branch of government they have to defend against adversaries of the United States, both foreign and domestic. And if
yeah.
we're getting to this place where our national security is at risk because the people in power are not doing what they're supposed to do, I do think we really have to worry about if we can become one of these militarized
I mean,
countries that we like have read about.
I think particularly, I mean, and we have the clip from Donald Trump. I mean, when they asked Donald Trump, I mean, he acted like he was literally finding out in real time when they was asking him that this happened. And he was like, "What? Tell me what happened." You want to cue that clip, John?
Reaction to the story in the Atlantic that said that some of your top cabinet officials and aides had been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
Having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
with the Houthis.
The Houthis? You mean the attack on the Houthis? Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time.
Yes, yes.
What did you say?
What did you say? Who
Come
was on
again?
there? Who was on the group chat? You know what I'm saying? It was, and it's yeah. Again, like that's fascinating. Um, and
But you would think
remember,
that like men who have all this experience being unfaithful and cheating, they would have a better excuse
whoa,
already in the tuck in case when you get caught. Like what crazy? Like we were just testing, right? We were just testing if this person was trustworthy enough to be in our group chat. You know that obviously this person failed. You know, we were just inviting people in to have a conversation and see how we're making decisions. You know, we're trying to have a transparent administration, something. You know, and it just shows you once again these men. It's
well,
always the man.
you see how Hedgehog did it. I mean, Hedgehog, you blame the accuser. Hedgehog, yo, these women is
Yeah.
crazy, baby. You know,
Argo.
you can't believe none of these women and their accusations. They're crazy.
The screenshot. Like,
Eh,
what are they?
I mean, because if anybody got experience, it's Hedgehog. Because if you're such a serial cheater that your mom has to email you and say, "Yo, dog, slow it down. Like you're embarrassing me, and I can't embarrass you."
Now we all see he was just bad at it. Now we see why he got caught all the time. He's
Wow.
just not
Yes.
good.
So, obviously, this brought up a conversation around Hillary Clinton and the whole what about her emails? Remember, it was like Hillary's emails, and this was this big national security threat, and Congress wanted to have all these hearings on it. And, CNN put together a montage of all of these people in the group chat talking about what about our emails in terms of some type of. It's interesting because, like you said, Miracle, as of this point, I haven't heard anything about this is how we're going to improve security. Like you got caught, like this happened. This man has sensitive information. He shared it. He shared the chat. Right? It's been documented by the White House and the National Security Council that yes, this was the chat. We haven't heard any type of this is what we're gonna do better. None of that. You know what I'm saying? So can we clue up the what about her emails as Hillary Clinton is somewhere like I mean, yeah.
If there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now.
Nobody is above the law, not even Hillary Clinton, even though she thinks she is.
Mishandling classified information is still a violation of the Espionage Act.
When you have the Clinton emails, on top of the fact that the sitting president of the United States admitted he had documents in his garage, they didn't prosecute, they didn't go after these folks.
Hillary Clinton responded tonight with this: "You have got to be kidding me."
If there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now.
Nobody is above the law, not even Hillary Clinton, even though she thinks she is.
Mishandling classified information is still a violation of the Espionage Act.
When you have the Clinton emails, on top of the fact that the sitting president of the United States admitted he had documents in his garage, they didn't prosecute, they didn't go after these folks.
Hillary Clinton responded tonight with this: "You have got to be kidding me."
It's yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, sometimes what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like, girl, you know, ma'am, you lost. that your email, they never cared about your emails. Your emails were a deflection to get people angry at you, and you fell for it because couldn't say you call people super predators. So put it down.
Yes. Yeah.
This idea that like Democrats are going to one up Republicans or like, ha ha ha, you called for prosecution. Well, no, it just shows you that Democrats were weak and spineless and didn't know how to fight
Oh,
Republicans. And so now Republicans are going to do whatever they want, like they've been doing. And it's like Hillary should not even be a part of this conversation. At the end of the day, our elected officials got into a group chat and decided to bomb one of the poorest nations in the world
yeah.
instead of using diplomatic and diplomacy because they felt like they could. And they did it in a group chat and they laughed about it and they did not consider international law. And they did it because they wanted to. And they did it because no one's going to hold them accountable for doing this bombing. No one's going to hold them accountable for being in this group chat. And no one's going to hold them accountable for violating international law. And this, oh, what her emails, we are not in 2015. We are not in 2020. We are in 2025. And if Democrats didn't wake up and be like, hey, we are in 2055 and we've got to start acting and fighting for 2056, we are just going to be SOL more than what we are doing now.
Well, Miracle. Since you're mentioning Democrats, there
You know,
has
my
been
favorite.
a wave of activity,
Mm,
at a robust young 79. Wait, how old is Bernie Sanders right now? Is Bernie 78 or 79?
you
I think he's
know,
like 306.
He's 83. Damn,
Oh shit.
at a robust 83. Bernie and AOC have been crisscrossing the country. They have been, it seems like every rally they go, it's bigger than the last one. They did a huge rally in Philadelphia. They did an even bigger rally in Denver. I think they had 35,000 people. They said it was the biggest rally since Obama ran back in the day. It looks like there is this energy around, Bernie Sanders and AOC. Do you see that? Meanwhile, it's been a lot of folks, we just, Summer Lee did a town hall and in Pittsburgh that was sold out. So it seems like a lot of folks are doing these. The progressive Democratic wing, it seems, Miracle, are engaging the community and the people are
mm.
responding. What do you say, Miracle? What do you say
I
to
mean,
them?
you're saying that when you go to the people with the message that they have a future and there's something in this world for them, they show out and show up. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought it? Here we are. Here we are in 2025 doing what we should have done in 2024. But yes, you see Bernie saying, come out. You see these open town halls. You see Democrats actually leaning into democracy, which they should have done the whole entire time and they refused to do. You have to meet people where they are. And I'll never forget, Barack Obama said the reason people voted for him is not because of his name and who he was, it's because they saw him. He was out campaigning, he was out talking to his message, he was out defending his platform. Democrats have to defend their values and their platform publicly instead of just trying to do this inward thing of like, oh, nobody wants to talk to me, so I'm gonna go try to grab a Republican vote. It doesn't work that way. You have to go meet people where they are. You have to let people come in. If they want to boo you, they boo you. If they want to clap, they clap for you. If they want to protest, they protest. You go in, you show up, you do your thing, and leave. And that is when we are at our strongest, when we're closest to democracy, we're closest to the people, and we're really explaining what we are fighting for. Now, do I want Bernie to be president? Absolutely. Maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago.
What about 10 years? What
But
about 10 years from now? Do you think he could be president in 10 years?
I think that we are at the time where we need people who are closer to the issue
Mm.
and
I,
not
just, I
Ber-
thought that was going
closer
someplace else.
and not
Bernie
closer
is
to the
not
problem.
not not
No,
closer to death, closer to life. I
no, I said issue. You gotta think about it.
That's not
understand.
how she was
So
going.
Bernie is 5 years older than Donald Trump. I mean, Bernie is 83. He's
It's
old.
not about him. Correct. He is 83, but does he? Does he know what this current student loan crisis feels like? Does
Mm.
he understand what this current
Miracle,
ability to rent an apartment? No, but
miracle.
this is basically,
Others went to college. College was $2.50.
and then and again, we need people who are impacted by the current issues and understand not what they used to be like, but what they are now. And there could be people who are of a certain age who go to school and they have student loans. But I think we need newer people within the party, newer people who've been impacted, and I want them to run. I want them to be engaged. We should not be waiting for an 83-year-old man who's had a heart attack, right?
Mm.
Who's had a heart attack, who's been
Yeah.
sick, who may not be here in 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
Again, we have so many people in the Democrat Party who are sick and
Yes.
elderly who we do not know will even be here in another year. So even if by some type of a miracle we win all of these races for all these Congress people and all these special elections, we can still once again lose the House because so many people are sick and passing away.
But what about AOC, Miracle? And to me, I don't know, like to me, Bernie and AOC are like the LeBron and Luca of the Democratic Party.
Who's
Like
LeBron?
AOC is, I mean, obviously LeBron is older, but AOC is 35 years old. There's been calls for her to primary Chuck Schumer in New York City and maybe run for his Senate seat. What about AOC, who's also there? Also, she's young, she's dynamic, she has a name. Like, is she somebody that we should invest in? That we should be looking at in 4 years?
I think she could be the progressive candidate in 4 years. I do think that she has made mistakes like every other politician has. But I do, I think that we got to look at something different. We can't keep recycling all of these politicians and being like, okay, this person didn't work. Okay, you're going to run again next year, run again next year. No, we need new people to take on these positions of power so we can actually have a chance of becoming a better country. Like, look at Mexico. They took on a new person, and now they have people talking about how we're going to make housing affordable. How are we going to make sure that everyone has health care? How are we going to make sure that everyone has a retirement? We need something new and different in the United States, and I'm hopeful that it could be AOC. Even on Summer Lee, I think
Um,
is a more progressive candidate and who is more dynamic about connecting with people. I would like. I know she has said she does not want to run for office, but I do think that she is someone that I think should also
hmm.
be really in this national conversation because when people hear her, she really touches people's hearts and souls. I think she is also someone who should be elevated during this time.
That's a great question, Miracle. What do you do when you have somebody that's so articulate, that's so inspiring, that has, fans all across the country, that everybody wants to run for office? But for whatever reason, when we ask them, when the emailers ask them, when the people that watch the show ask them, they just refuse. They have all the answers,
Then
but
we
but
have
they
to do the
refuse to
work
run for
that
office. What do
we
you say
have
to
to
that person,
we have to
Miracle?
do
Mm.
you have to do the work to make it so that when they run for office they're safe
Oh,
and protected and people are going to listen to them and enact what their vision is for the country. And we also then got to find and develop other talents and other people to run for office. I'm not running for office because y'all not gonna be out here disrespecting me on my weekend,
Mm.
interrupting my peace. Absolutely not. Like y'all got me one time with a little tweet from little Terra 47. I said, you know what? I don't think I can
that's
do
funny.
this. No.
But you did mention a new blood, right? And one of the things Bernie did an interview, and I want to also bring Farouk in trouble in this conversation. And in this interview, he actually said that his fellow progressives should not run as Democrats. And basically, he was like, they should shed the Democrat label and run as independents, like that more people should do that. I mean, this is how bad the Democrat like brand is, that the Democrat that's drawing the most people is saying, hey, don't even run as a Democrat. Like, you brought this article up, Farouk. How do you feel about Bernie basically saying, like, yo, the brand is toxic. Like, let's run as something else.
I mean, in other news, water is wet. Uh, I mean, I mean, really and truly, I'm not. a staunch Bernie advocate, and I've never been one. You know,
Me
he just
neither.
doesn't he doesn't resonate with me. I think he misses the mark on a lot of things. And to be
Wait,
honest
wait,
with
wait,
you, I
wait, wait,
think
Farouk. Wait, Farouk. You're telling me an 83-year-old man from Vermont doesn't resonate?
Mm.
go nigga, go figure. But I mean, but I think like this is more of what Miracle is talking about people being connected to the issues, because as we are all calling for reform and something better within the Democratic Party, are you telling us that like if everybody just up and abandon ship right now, you can correct something within 3 years for the next national election? Like you just think that you can just say, oh, okay, we tried everything we can do. We're going to shake the etch a sketch and then bring all the problems from the Democratic Party over to this new unnamed or perhaps independent party and just expect like a rebrand to work it all over. Like remember when New Coke was the thing and it lasted all of like 7 months? That's what Bernie Sanders is trying to do. Is just trying to New Coke this shit and act like people just forgot about the issues that they're bringing in with him. Like they're bringing in so much baggage, political baggage from this. And the thing is, it doesn't matter what you call it. You can't slap lipstick on a pig. You know what I mean? Like it's
Can't,
just it's
can't slap lipstick on a hedgehog or the yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Um.
like and JD to appeal to JD Vance, just because you reupholstered the couch doesn't mean it's been unfucked.
Wow. Okay.
Trouble. I have a question for you. Right.
What's up?
Are you looking at? We have as we're recording this now, there's a special election in Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
We have a primary coming up. When you go to engage a candidate, are you looking at like whether they're Democrat or Republican? Are you looking more at like do their values or their work speak to you? Like, would it matter to you if somebody said I'm an independent or a Democrat or whatever?
It wouldn't matter that much, especially because like I vote unaffiliated to either party. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I'm looking at the ballot, I try to do my research beforehand to see which person on that ballot aligns most with the vision I have for community. And it doesn't matter if they're Democratic or independent. It's like if they align, they align. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the gesture that Bernie is setting forth of like moving from the Democratic Party into independent, just because then they can kind of separate themselves from the ideals of the Democratic Party. Because what I'm starting to realize for myself within within the Democratic Party is that they pacify people a lot. You know what I'm saying? They'll make us think that they're working in our benefit, but then whole time they're working against us the entire time. You know what I'm saying? And it's ironic because it kind of makes me appreciate having Republicans as opponents, because at least they'll tell us plainly what they plan to do and how much they don't give a fuck about our rights as people. And then we're able to see, okay, this is exactly what we're fighting against. They've laid it out plainly. But with a Democrat, you'll think that they're on your side, but then in the shadows, they're, refusing to have bills passed that work in your benefit, or they're writing laws that actually go against the benefit of your entire community. And yeah, that's where I stand with it.
No, I feel you, and in a lot of ways, that's kind of like how we got here. Um, what do you think, Miracle? Apparently there was a meeting of I guess Nancy Pelosi and Hakeem Jeffries, where Nancy Pelosi told Hakeem Jeffrey, "Use your power." In an hour-long sit down and told him to flex his muscles. He's going to have to lead. This is his moment to step up, is what people are saying to Hakeem Jeffries as we're in Brooklyn, where, Hakeem, made his political bones. Do you think that you're dead. She already laughing like Miracle. Is he going to use his power, Miracle?
No, he's not going to use his power. Has he
Is
even
it because
called
of
for a
what?
town hall? But no, but has he even called for a town hall? Has he even been like, let me go meet these communities? Has he even been out on the front? I'm very confused because I haven't seen, now maybe y'all seen him, but I haven't seen him. I
I
haven't
haven't.
seen him out meeting the people. I haven't seen him being like, you know what do you want us to do? I would even, like, okay, I see people coming at me. I see him on these podcasts, but where is he talking to the people? Where is he saying, how do you want us to fight? Where is he saying what issues and platforms? I don't see him leading. I don't see him using his power. You know, if the Democrats are not needed in this moment, where is his announcement that no Democrat is returning to DC? Right? If
I guess
Democrats are
I
not
guess
needed in this moment, where's his thing? Where is his call that, like, nobody's going to be showing up for work? Right? That's not happening. He hasn't done a strike. He hasn't done a sit out. He hasn't done a walkout. He hasn't done anything. Right? So, like, where is his power? It's like he doesn't really want to fight. So no, I don't think. I do not
yeah.
think.
I
I think he and Schumer should resign on the same day. I think they should say that we are not the people for this moment. This is not what we ran for office to do, and we cannot meet this moment. And since we know that so many people expect more of us, which we're not going to do, we're going to step aside. I think that he should not be speaker or a minority speaker. I think he should be willing to say, you know what, the Democrats are going to reconvene, and we may think about getting somebody else in here so that we can move and mobilize. We need a unified message. And a unified message needs to be that people deserve to live in this country without being worked to death, policed to death, or bombed to death, and that we have a better world that we can create together. And if he can't say that, he kind of needs to move on and let somebody else take up the mantle.
Hmm.
Interesting enough, he did do some town hall in New York. It did not look like Bernie and AOC's town hall. Maybe that's why we didn't see it, because like it wasn't close to, it wasn't 100 people in his town hall, let alone 35,000. So maybe that's why. Maybe he's doing town halls, or Schumer came out talking about still wanting to work with Republicans. I agree with you. They are not the people for this moment. It seems, and it seems like they actually are costing. I mean, again, we talked about it last week. The Democratic Party is at its lowest it's ever been in terms of popularity. And speaking of lowest as it's ever been in terms of popularity, Elon and Tesla are having a time. It seems that
Swastika car.
the swastika, yes, yes. The white power mobile, you know what I'm saying? Like white, they said now with white power steering, which the Tesla comes with. So not only did and now mind you, like, yes, were people were burning Teslas, people are doing vandalism at Teslas, people are protesting Teslas. And without even the people protesting and vandalizing, they had to recall every single Cybertruck because it was some type of bad way or something was falling off the truck that could cause people to lose their life. You know what I'm saying? So Tesla's truck is falling. Donald Trump is saying that if you do any type of vandalism to Tesla, he's going to charge you with domestic terrorism, which is fascinating because
Listen, yeah,
it doesn't seem like any other criminals get that type of treatment. But and then he's actually was saying he was going to send American citizens to El Salvador if they're caught vandalizing Tesla. You had something to say to that, Fruit?
I mean, this is just so fucking annoying that, over the summer, the largest one of the largest campaign topics from both Biden and Harris was domestic terrorism being a threat to the United States of America. The right has, for all intents and purposes, successfully co-opted that language to spin domestic terrorism as not as it's coming from the alt-right or from these Bible Belt people or these white supremacists, but now they're coming at people who are in opposition to them, and they're qualifying them as domestic terrorists and ending birthright citizenship and threatening the citizenship and the legal status of all of these people who are in America now. Calling them a domestic terrorist is a great way to revoke the legal standing that they have. It's just another step that they could drive something and use it as an invective and use it as a negative word to label people who are in opposition to the Trump administration or Project 2025 or Elon Musk or any of these things. So I just think it's super fascinating that domestic terrorism was the Proud Boys and the KKK and the All Right and the January 6ers, and
They
now
all got
it's
caught though.
protesters. Yeah, they're all So now those are the January 6 heroes, and then now domestic terrorists look like everybody that's on the show right now.
Hmm.
No, wait, hold on. Woo. Wait, what?
What do you have to
I don't
say?
know. I don't know who.
Elon Musk. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Elon Musk
I'm not sure.
did an interview where he basically said like he's never done anything hard. It's funny because like he has to know. I mean, he's the one saying all these people, thousands of people are going to lose their jobs, right? So then this to actually like literally come out and laugh. Remember, he laughed. He put a chainsaw up and laughed at all these people that lost their jobs, and then to come out and say he's done nothing harmful is insane.
Hmm.
But he did. He was like, I don't know why people are mad at Tesla. Um, but to see this, I mean, and I would say maybe don't have Donald Trump do a commercial for your car because, like, you know,
It's
It's a bad
crazy
one.
that
it can
it's
help.
crazy that this much corporate support is coming from the White House. Like for the White House to actually protect, pardon me, a corporate entity that has nothing to do, it's a private corporate entity that has nothing to do with electoral politics. For them to say anything done against Tesla will be labeled as domestic terrorism is insane. Like that is the default, that's the fucking definition of fascism.
And
Yeah, I would.
I want to
Yeah.
say like, I made a point about this in a couple of episodes before this, but this is what happens when we have a billionaire class in the White House. You know what I'm saying? It's like for Elon Musk to come out and say he's done nothing harmful shows us that he is not connected to the real world issues of the people that his candidate is supposed to represent, right? He's like completely shielded through his billions of any
Yes,
impact that his decisions or Trump's decisions have on regular people who aren't touching nearly as much money. And then you have Donald Trump who endorses a brand like Tesla more than he does the people who voted him in office. And it
yes.
just, it says a lot.
I also think like this episode is like the worst man excuses that we've heard. It's another terrible man excuse. I haven't done anything wrong. What did I do? I didn't really hurt you. In the face of this person that's crying, like,
You knew
no,
what it
you did
is.
not.
You knew what it was.
That's the one right there. Come on, why you crying?
You knew what you
Why
were
you crying? You know what this was. You knew who I was when you hit me.
doing. America,
Like, who is with
you knew what it was. Like, why would you do
Billionaire
me?
Africa. Why did you think I would care about you? Like, what?
I mean, like, you came here the same way you got hurt. So what are we talking about? Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, but real rap, we do have information. Okay, so all those people who accused Elon of being a white supremacist, they were absolutely wrong. Because according to Elon's dad, he couldn't be a white supremacist because he grew up with several black servants
Wow.
who were his friends.
You
These
know
black
what?
servants,
My heart goes, oh, wait, no, sorry, I can't do that.
oh, you're gonna say your heart goes out to his black servants. That reminds me. Remember that Richard Pryor movie where like
The toy.
the toy where the white boy like bought Richard Pryor and like again,
Michael Jackson did a song for that shit, man.
hey,
That was actually a good movie. And can we bring back movies from the 70s? Because, like, The Toy was, like, really, really good. And I did.
Pardon?
It was like, first, it was really, really good. Because
was
it's
it?
like, why would you, well, hold on. Because it was like, why would you allow your child to buy a man, like a grown man, and you just
But he's black.
leave your child?
Mm.
You just leave your child with this person, no background clearance, no promise he won't kidnap your child, hurt your child, do nothing. He's just like, you know what? He needs a friend. Buy this thing,
Miracle,
entertain him. I
miracle.
was
I
like,
feel like there might. I feel like America might have a history of that. Like,
you know, some would say, some would say,
Now that I'm thinking about this, what Elon's dad said, it sounds a lot like if someone's granddad came out as racist, right? There's no way my granddad's racist. He included black people in his lynchings.
yes,
They were
yes.
there.
That's yeah. Right. They were at all the parties. They were just. they were just they were at all our parties. They were just hanging out. They
Yeah.
were just hanging out at all the
Hanging
when
out is
people
crazy.
when
Hanging
people
out
say
is crazy.
when people say that, I think they forget the balance of power and the fact that like if the only people you know who are different than you are people you employ, that is just basically you saying that you reaffirm bigotry and biases in your own personal life because you only see black people around you as things that can be labor and things you can exploit and extract and not people you can be in community with. So when someone was like, he was friends with, yes, he was friends with the people in the house because they grew up in the house. He wasn't friends with somebody because he went out of his way to befriend them as a neighbor, as a classmate, as someone in the community. It was someone he could control.
Yes. It was somebody that basically had to do everything he asked him to do. Again, like, and it's not like, it's not like like they had a choice as to whether or not they could, you know, befriend this dude or not. This is their job. Like your job, you have to take care of these people. So whether you like them or not, you got to come, you got to smile, you got to pretend you love everything about them because you want a job, you want a paycheck. So clearly, yeah. But again, I feel like that's Elon Musk's life right now. I feel like every single person around Elon Musk probably secretly hates this man. And the only reason they smile at him and the only reason they, probably including Donald Trump, is because he owns the purse strings. He's the one that's cutting the check. He's the one that's doing all of these things. So they have to smile at him and be happy about him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And that's even a grift because so much of his money comes from the federal government. Like he got
Yes.
subsidies from the federal government. So essentially he was like, you know what? I don't want to repay my loan, right? I don't want to give you this money back. I'm
Yes.
the lender now, right? And he put all this money into electing these people, whether it's the millions he's putting into Wisconsin, the possible millions he's going to be putting here in Pennsylvania. It makes absolutely no sense for people to look at Elon as some genius, a billionaire. It's like, no, he's a man who played the game because he saw like how easy y'all were to be bought, and he was like, I'll buy you. If I gotta buy you to get this contract, I'm gonna buy you. It's like this has some morals. Like stand up and just be like, you know what? I'm not for sale, and just like move on.
I mean, his family has a history of buying niggas. So, I mean, he's just going to buy. Again, like, when you grow up with a bunch of servants, I mean, like, yo, if I have the money, I have the
Wow.
power, people have to do what I say. And people are kind of doing what they say. We do have a black excellence, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jasmine Crockett. I mean, I found this extremely hilarious, but Jasmine Crockett was doing a speech, and Jasmine Crockett shouted out the current governor of Texas, Governor Abbott.
Thank you so much, Morgan, because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes. Right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move on.
What needs to happen? What needs to happen is Governor Abbott needs to stand up for himself.
Oh.
I just want to point out that why we get into these jokes that people accuse of ableist, this comes from the same people who claim to be like free. They want free speech, right? They want free speech to misgender
Yes.
people. They want free speech to harass people. They want free speech to bring back the R word. And now it's like it's
Yeah.
no fun when the rabbit gets the gun. Like
Yeah.
if you want to go bar for bar, slur for slur, insult for insult, it's like fair is fair. Or we
Yeah.
just respect everybody and their positionality and their experience was very DEI. It's very DEI coded to be respectful. So do we want to be
Absolutely.
respectful or do we want to meet people where they are? Because Michelle went high and we saw how that went. So now people
Yep.
gonna go low and we're gonna see how that gonna go.
I don't
Right.
think he'd be in this position if he walked it like he talked it.
now we got all the jokes coming out. But again, you're absolutely right. We saw Trump, mock a disabled reporter with no
Say
consequences, called, Sleepy Joe, disrespect
Mhm.
Kamala, disrespect Michelle, Barack.
Barack
We've seen,
Hussein.
yeah. Yeah,
But
I mean, so we,
saying
so
say
you
Chuck
can't,
Schumer's a Palestinian, like you know what I mean? Like, yo,
yeah,
you can't have it both ways.
can't have it
You know
both
what I mean?
ways.
Yo, if
Like you said,
anything,
hold on. You want it to be one way. You
Yeah,
want it to be one way, but it's the other
but it's
way.
the other way. It's the other way.
listen, so I think Jasmine Crockett just gave him like a super dope intergenerational marketing plan, right?
True,
Governor
true,
Hot Wheels, he could use that
true.
to his advantage.
Yeah.
There's
You
even
good?
old heads who still like Hot Wheels to this day.
Yeah,
He
good.
might say,
Yeah,
he might
yeah.
say, hey, he might say, hey, Miss Crockett, what you gonna do when I roll up on you? He could. That's how he can
Mm.
frame it. Like, yo, I'm gonna roll up on you, and then we gonna see what's funny. You know what I mean?
He absolutely could. But again, like you said, like, and like Miracle said, like, you can't, it can't be free speech. It can't be, we want to use all these words. You want to
Jasmine,
disrespect queer people. You want to disrespect transgender people. You want to call everybody out their name. But then somebody kicks a little, gives you a little joke. And now all of a sudden, all
Jasmine
your
Crockett,
friends are
Jasmine Crockett said, well, I want all the real niggas in the room to stand up.
Mm.
upset. Why you sitting down, Governor Hot Wheels?
Mm.
And again, this is a governor who basically cut back and wants to cut back on policies that would harm disabled people while he's in a wheelchair. This
Mm.
is a man that's in a wheelchair trying to roll back policies
Ha.
that would make it
Roll
hard.
back is crazy.
I think that belies the issue, right? That white supremacy again picks people who are impacted to do its bidding
Yes.
and to protect it from critique. But at the end of the day, we're making these jokes. Like you said, it is disabled people who are the ones who are going to be most impacted by these cuts, by the ending of Medicare, by the end of the Social Security, by the ending of the what little is left of our Social Security. And so it's like, okay, get your jokes off, but also get out there and do the work and make sure that disabled people are going to be able to make it and still be here. Because we're all probably going to be disabled at some point in our lives, whether it's we got in an accident, we had a sports injury, whatever you call it. It's like stuff is
Yeah.
going to happen. And it's like, we just got to get together and we're going to do jokes, we got to do the work.
I
Mhm.
love how Miracle brings us back to respectability. Thank you. Our white pages today, and Miracle, you said it yesterday in Brooklyn. We just happened to run into a legend in the field of anti-violence work, Erica Ford. Her book, The Peace Doctor's Playbook.
Mm.
She signed it for us, gave it to us. She's somebody that when there was a office of violence prevention in the White House, she was a part of it. Donald Trump took that away, but she can't take away the great legacy of Erica Ford, bringing orange to the table as like we wear orange for people that's impacted by violence. So, Erica Ford, a wonderful human being. The Peace Doctor's Playbook is out now. Get you a copy. That's our white pages for today. Any final words?
This Friday, Morgan Overton has her Artivist Academy showcase right here at the Black Box in Pittsburgh. So if you're in Pittsburgh, make sure you pull up. It's going to be really dope. You'll be able to see the team and see some really dope art.
Yeah, rest and resistance. Supporting Black women is, we ended Women's History Month with a powerful showing. So this Friday at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, what
Yep,
time?
6 to 8.
6 to 8. Come through. It's free, and build with us at One Hood. Anything else going on?
Um, if you don't stand for something,
If you
You
look on
roast
our
anything?
social media, you'll also realize that we are launching We Keep Us Safe. We Keep Us Safe is going to
Mm-hmm.
be a new community, a returning community youth interactive program so you can figure out what they need to be safe. It's going to be on Wednesdays. Make sure your kids, I believe it's 13 to
no, 16 to 26, Miracle.
16 and 26 can apply. And bring people out. It's about to be summer. You might as well just like let them come to One Hood, get fed, and make a difference in their community. Um,
Yes, that's WKS. We keep us standing.
Oh
we
my
keep us
goodness.
safe. And you want to, if you want your child not to grow up like Farouk, and you want them to be emotionally competent and emotionally well, you also want to send them We Keep Us Safe because they can work in a group and get those social and soft skills so they can learn to do that. a good product of society. But other than that, turn up, have fun,
Yes, unlike me.
choose liberation, choose love, and choose community.
And choose peace. Enjoy.
And with that, and with that being said, thank you.
We're gonna
all,
roll out of here.
Live from Brooklyn and PA this week in White Supremacy. Peace, y'all. One hood.
What is wrong with you? Like
Roll out. Roll out.